All right, good evening. It's Monday night again, the 13th of November, 2017. I'm Rusty, and welcome to Stunthangar Hangouts, where we talk about aero modeling and anything else you can think of that might be interesting. Anything that you use tools for is pretty much fun for us to talk about. So come on in and join us. I see we've got one viewer coming in from the YouTube side. Now, tonight's a little bit different. Everybody that's subscribed to the Stunthangar channel has a notification. If you click the bell in your YouTube page up in the top right, then you'll have the link to click to come in live. If you don't, then just go over to the Stunthangar forum and you'll follow the directions I've posted over in the chat box next to this video, and it says to join us. You must go to Stunthangar and click the link I've posted in tonight's stunthangar.com live streaming at the bench thread. So if you'll go there, it is posted and you can follow that link to here. Otherwise, if you would rather just hang out in the chat box, that's cool too. And we will keep an eye on who's in the chat box and incorporate your conversations into ours over here on the live side. Let me adjust my camera a little bit here. Looks good. Looks like I got fair video tonight. Not too much hesitation when I move, so hopefully we can run on medium high resolution. Looks like Jamie's joining us. Hey Jamie, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey.
Trying a little bit different strategy here, and there's one more thing I need to do now that everybody's, and I'm going to use you as an experiment. I'm going to go over and do a quick edit on this Hangout and unlist it. Let's see how we can do that. Hopefully keep out off-topic posters, and duplicate tab. And edit tab. And let's see, how do we do that? Here we go. Unlisted. Everybody should have gotten their notification. Okay. Now that I've unlisted it, how about recheck your notification bell on YouTube if you've got that in front of you, and see if the message, the announcement that we're online is still there and that it didn't go away when I unlisted the video. You know what I mean?
Hold on, let me see. I might have to restart my YouTube.
Is that how you got here, or did you just use the?
Yeah, I went to YouTube and now, yeah. See, I got a notification. Yeah, 3 minutes ago. Notification.
Okay, so you still got it then?
Yeah,
it hadn't disappeared. Okay, good. So we're unlisted now, but everybody that's subscribed should have the notification. If I find out that nobody's joining, I'll post it back up, but that way nobody can see it but people who are subscribed, and maybe we can keep it clean that way. Anyway, what you up to? Have a good weekend?
It wasn't bad. Flew a little bit.
You have decent weather?
Oh, it was great. Like high 74, sun shining, a little breeze.
Oh, wow. It's been chilly here. It's been getting down into the, well, 40s at night's what I call chilly. Some people don't call it chilly. It depends on what you're acclimated to, but I can't go outside anyway, so I'm just sitting around in the house and missing going outside. So hopefully I'll be back out pretty soon, but I enjoyed doing this on appear in the other night. The audio and video are so much better, but we're eliminating too many people that way until we can get our bugs worked out. So anyway, hopefully everybody will be able to find us tonight.
Yep. My fire cat had a boo-boo Saturday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It had a boo-boo, or you boo-booed it?
I want to say it had a boo-boo because it's so touchy on the handle for prop, and it was still slow. So I put on an 8.6, and it had good speed, tension was there. But I tried to ease into a loop, just slowly go into a loop, and it would snap up. You know, so it might have been tail heavy. Well, anyway, it snapped up, came around, and it pancaked. Boom! It hit flat bottom, and it bounced. Engine still going, and it took off again.
Wow, it sounds like you were almost pulling full up from the beginning, you know, instead of easing it up. But if it's strange that when you just, you know, because I know you know how to do a loop, you ease up and then increase the input as you come back around. But it sounds like it went straight full up and came around and didn't have enough air and stalled.
And like doing a wing over, it just barely pulled the handle back. I mean, just barely go up with it, and boom, it goes straight up into a wing over. I mean, I have no idea what's the word, why it's doing that. But anyway, when it pancaked, it cracked the wing from fuselage. It would be an easy fix. All I got to do is take off the monocoat, slap some epoxy, and hold it straight. Yeah. You know, it didn't like break it off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty rugged little plane, I think.
But I don't know how much more I'm actually going to fly it. I'm thinking about just repairing it, putting it on the wall, and then, you know, moving on.
Yeah, someday, you know, you can come back to it and get it put back together and use it for a guest plane, you know, or something like that. So,
yeah, I mean, like I said, the damage ain't too bad. And it kept flying with the wing crack like that. Everybody's like, you build that plane with dihedral? No, that's it. You know, I'm there flexing the wing up back and forth. And, you know, it just wasn't a good day for flying for me. And then I flew the other plane with flaps I got. And, man, I just couldn't fly that worth of shit. You know, I left the ringmaster in the truck. I didn't even break it out. I wasn't even interested.
Yeah. Does that Firecat have?
I'm not even planning on going to Nats. You know, that's how bad it is.
That Firecat's a Brodat kit, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you never know, and whenever I wreck a plane, it's hard for me to go back and remember exactly what's happened during the flight because I'm focused on one thing at a time at any moment in time, and the rest of them just go out the other side of my brain, and so I can't really, it's not like I can catalog my moves as I fly the plane through a flight.
Yeah. I mean, so far every plane I've flown other than the Ringmaster has been like total trash. You know, I'm not saying like the Mentor's trash, it really ain't. I just need to adjust my handle because I would have to hold back. I have to like pull up quite a bit to keep it level. So I think it's a handle issue with that.
Yeah. That sounds like.
Oh, hey, Charles.
And I mean, I've seen many other guys in the club fly the different Mentors like it. Almost everybody has one. And they do the whole pattern with it and, you know, all the other good stuff. So I know it's a good flying plane.
Yeah, those are popular at my club, too.
Well, there you go. Finally got my camera to work.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were getting on for a minute there. I saw your little blue avatar. Now we got you, though.
And then again, another thing, Rusty, I was flying that Firecat on 58-foot lines. They told me I should have been flying it on 52, which I got a set of 52. In fact, was it right here? Yeah, a set of 52s I need to just crimp down. You know, because it's it's Indian 19, you know, so I figure, I guess, you know,
That sounds like 52 maybe to me. No more than 58, but yeah. But that doesn't sound like it would have been had to do with the symptom that you're describing, though.
I'm thinking it might have been just tail heavy. I don't know. I balanced it in a scene.
Maybe.
You know, it wouldn't go balance. It wouldn't fall on his butt. That's for sure.
Hey, Minnesota Mike. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm still fooling around with the settings here, so if I screw anything up, I'll reopen it. But yeah, I think we're good to go. Jim Ballard's here. Mike's here. All right, so we're developing a crowd. Looks like everybody got our notifications. That was the one thing I was worried about, is that everybody was getting them. So good. Maybe this strategy is not perfect, but more impervious. And Ron Hess is with us. Oh man, the usual crowd's dropping in. Good. We got a good Monday night going here.
All right.
I can't even find a live stream on the YouTube to bring up the chat. Let me just click on my notification, and there we go. Oh, such a dummy. There we go. Now I see everything.
Yeah, I'm dicking around with mine, and I keep thinking, uh-oh, I'm going to mess them up. But so far I hadn't ruined it yet.
The Ringmaster, I feel like a champion with it. You know, it seems like it's so easy to fly, and I still don't understand why people dog is saying it's a terrible plane, because man, it does everything I ask it to do.
Yeah,
I know it don't do the full pattern, but shit, you gotta fly the full pattern.
Yeah. Well, if you set it up like they did back in the days that the kit was first put out, then it wouldn't be a great flyer with 45 degrees of throw in each direction on the elevator. But I think we know how to set them up and tune them back a little bit for flying a pattern now. And so, yeah, there's no reason it shouldn't be a good flyer.
And there's an old video of Ted Fancher flying a Ringmaster and putting it through the stunt pattern. Looks pretty good. I think his was probably a little less than 30 ounces with an OS Max 25 on it, I think. An FP, I think.
I've never flown a Ringmaster except for my little teeny micro Ringmaster.
I
need to fix that.
I've only flown a I've had two Ringmasters, and the only thing I have against the Ringmasters, I don't like the silhouette when I'm flying it. When I have the handle in my hand, I'm looking at the plane.
Yeah.
I just don't care for the silhouette, and they don't land very good typically.
You like to admire your planes while you're flying them.
Yeah, I do. And that one's not an admirable plane to me as far as appearance goes. But yeah, I've seen some pretty Ringmasters. I mean, yours looks pretty too, James. Jamie, that's a pretty Ringmaster.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, a Ringmaster's a Ringmaster. It ain't nothing fancy. And now the other one I have, the first one I got, it lands great. When I say it lands great, it glides and coasts and lands great. But that's the only thing that does great.
Doesn't bounce when you land it?
That one, not at all. This one that I mainly fly, it bounces.
Yeah, that's what I've seen most Ringmasters do, is bounce.
Yeah.
The other one, I don't know whether it's just because maybe the landing gear is it's thinner. I don't know if it's the 1.8 like that's on this one.
Or maybe the angle on it's a little different too. You can re-angle them.
The angle is probably correct. You know, it's like I said last Friday, it's all about the position. Yeah, I mean, you got to just fly the plane, and that's a trim feature to me, is just to get the landing gear right.
Yeah, because I mean, I got mine forward. That way, you know, it kind of eliminates the bouncing sitting high up.
Yeah.
Now, do you land on grass all the time, or are you landing on hard surface all the time?
Grass.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks like a grass setup to me. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Minnesota Mike says to Jamie the plane is at packing ship, so on the way.
Nice.
You know what that means.
What plane's he sending you?
Twister.
All right. Just a box stock Twister, or is it one of the fancy twisters?
It's a regular old Twister. I mean, here's the wing to the one I started.
Yeah.
Man, what I say, I built this on the coffee table, and I had cut off all them little tabs off the ribs because I didn't know that, you use that as a jig.
Right.
And when I say this thing is so crooked, I mean, it would probably fly. I have no doubt it would fly, but it would not be that good. So I'm not going to continue on with this wing. I'm leaving this bare bones as an example. Don't do that shit again.
What not to do. Yeah.
Yeah, just hang it up for a decoration. Everybody can see what the bones look like.
But I still got the fuselage and I haven't touched it, so I figured I could franchise the fuselage for it.
Yeah.
And
you put yourself a cool Razorback turtle deck all the way down the back. That makes them look a lot better, and get that stupid big hump out of the canopy area.
Oh, the canopy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was told I can get a hold of SIG and order a rib kit, and therefore I could just build another wing for it.
Yeah.
Which would be pretty cool.
In the last contest, Minnesota Mike, he gave me a Twister also. That was pretty cool of him.
And I'm probably going to get a buddy of mine to build a farm. I'm going to work out a deal with him on something. Because I want to build a 109, but I don't want to get too many planes started at one time. So,
good idea.
A buddy of mine has a plane that I have one, so I'm going to try to work out a deal with him.
I admire y'all guys that can build 2 or 3 planes at one time. I'm strictly a one project guy because I get too much stuff mixed up and confused, so I just stick to one.
If I had the room, shit, I'd do as many as I could. I'm not gonna lie. If I had 2 build benches, I'd have 2 planes going at once.
Yeah, I reckon I could too if I had a way to spread it all out and not have to move one to start the other and back and forth like that. That's my biggest problem is getting stuff mixed up. I like to get those little aluminum trays that in the grilling section at Walmart in the summertime anyway, and I use those for my parts containers, and I'll have control parts and jig parts and different stuff in each one of those, and so I keep those lined up behind my project, and I could probably find a more efficient way to spread out all of my parts and pieces. Minnesota Mike says he builds cars and bikes that way, a couple of them at a time.
Yeah, they say you can build 2 just as easy as you can build 1. You can build 2 pretty quick. I'm hoping to build 2 Thundergazers.
In fact, here's my fuselage to my Twister now.
There it is.
Yeah.
What is this? Oh, that's that shark that started. Oh man,
35 size shark, like the.
There's that junky 402 with the humongous wing tips and a super short lead outs. Man, hey, I'll tell you what, there's nothing I could put a damper in your confidence in seeing something you built, fly it a couple of times and smash it because I don't fly worth the shit.
That's why you do the bench trim before you fly it.
Yeah.
That doesn't keep me from doing dumb shit while I'm flying, though. Like my Twister, when I built it, I was so proud of that plane. It was beautiful. And it took me 6 months to build it and about 8 weeks to wreck it. But it did it did win me a trophy in a contest. So, you know, it came back to life too. I spent last winter rebuilding the wing on it, and it was good to go after that. That's a tough fuselage with those big triplers in the front. It's got a fiberglass fuselage and laminated in the middle too. So yeah, it took a lick pretty good with no major damage except for the ribs and internals of the wing.
What I mean, that Firecats, everything, it seemed to balance right. You know, I did the hung it from the lead outs. Everything seemed to, you know, be right with it. But man, flying, unless
now you'd flown that plane successfully before, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Something went wrong with it. It sounds like to me.
I mean, now, I've flown it, but I never tried any maneuvers with it. It was just, you know, trying to get the right prop, you know, to where I have speed.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm starting to wonder if maybe that India 19 just maybe not, even though it's got the speed in the pool, maybe it's just not light enough. I don't know. I mean, it's not heavy enough. So I don't know, making it tail heavy. Who knows?
You'll get there. It'll take, you know, it takes everybody a few wrecks and crashes to get there, you know, before you get confident enough flying right off the table.
Oh yeah, like I'm not really worried. It's above me right now, and like I said, the damage is pretty minimal. Other than the rudder, stupid me, I'm cleaning the plane, and I spray with Windex, and I swing the bottle of Windex over, and I pop the rudder right off.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, okay, you see a plane, it's, you know, don't look like nothing's wrong. It's just this wing right here moves.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I just got to epoxy it back to the joint. You know, if I hold it out and look at it, it's dead nuts straight. You know, so it's just need some epoxy.
You know, I had my Oriental had a brake that made the wing waggle like that, and Bob Zambelli helped me. He just took the covering off and exposed that spar and gouged the top out of it and packed carbon tow in it, soaked it with super glue, and kept packing more and more carbon tow in it until it turned into like an embedded carbon rod, and it was stiff as a brick after that. Ran great, flew great.
A good idea.
Yeah.
You just take a Dremel cutoff wheel to gouge, you know, just gouge a 1/8 deep line in it, and then you just keep filling it. Just pull shreds of the carbon tow off and twist it all up and pack it down in there and CA it, and just keep doing that until it's as full as it'll get.
Yeah, I mean,
great idea.
I don't have that much throw on the elevator, so I really don't know why it would snap up like that. I really don't. That, or I mean, because it's a low wing, I don't know why. You know, it'd make a difference. It was low wing and has a high rate of lift. I don't know.
You don't have any accidental negative incidents built into the stabilizer, do you?
Now, I'm not going to deny. I'm not going to say no.
It'd have to be enough to see.
Honestly, I don't know.
Well, if it was enough to do what you're talking about, it would be enough to see with your eyeballs without having to strain. So it's probably okay.
I want to look for, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's got the throw ain't really, I mean, that bad.
That's enough to stunt.
Yeah, that looks fine.
So,
looks like it might have a little more up than down, but still, it doesn't matter if you can control it with the handle. I always like to have a little bit more throw than I need anyway for emergency situations. I like to be able to fly out of any kind of trouble I can fly into.
Yeah, I think the sucky part, the whole thing that sucks the most, is I'm gonna have to pull off that black covering and recover it. That's what's just so why I don't want to fix it right now, because I don't feel like doing that. But luckily, it's only on the center section and not around where the graphics are or anything.
I like the plain paint scheme though, just plain black and white with the sharp square lines.
Yeah, tuxedo.
Yeah, Minnesota Mike says sounds like you might have some sticky lead outs in there. So that's another thing is I try to pride myself on making extremely free controls so that you feel no resistance when you pull them back and forth from the wingtip.
Yeah, that is very true. That's very important.
If you can't build them like that, you better not try to build an electric plane either, because electric planes will get all out of sorts if you've got any kind of stiffness in the controls, because they don't have the engine vibrations to make them vibrate back into neutral when you go slack.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So how you feeling, Rusty? How you feeling today?
Oh well, I'm pretty good. Dialysis days are
Oh,
always the worst of my days because I don't get to moving around enough to get limbered up really well.
right.
But the only problem I'm having now is that ever since I found out it's broken and not sprained, then I'm just real paranoid about accidentally twisting and snapping what's left of all that's holding that hip together before I can
Right.
get it
Oh
fixed.
yeah.
But Thursday I get my MRI, so we'll know better what's going on. A week after that, I got my follow up, and then I'll have a plan. So if I can keep from breaking this thing any worse between now and then hopefully I'll have a plan that sounds like a happy future.
Very good, man.
I'm just not a candidate for a full replacement.
Right. You told me about that. Yeah. Mhm. You know, I spoke to Sparky. I think it was yesterday, just to say hi to him, and I told him I would be willing to help out on the Google Hangout. So he told me to email him my Google, my Yahoo, my YouTube channel. Now I usually email people video, but I guess that's basically what he wants, right? Just pick a video and just email it to him.
He's um, he's got to go through some settings so that he enables your channel to be a part of his, so that when you go up and click on your little round avatar at the top right of your YouTube page, when you first log in, you've got both your page and you see the Stunthangar icon, and you can log into either one. And then if you host one of these Hangouts, you got to be logged in as Stunthangar. And so that's what he's trying to get you set up with. Probably, if I'm understanding what you're saying right, I expect that's what you're set up with. And that's what I've got. I mean, it thinks I'm Stunthangar when I'm on here. And I have to be careful when I open YouTube and always double check and see which one of us I'm logged in as, so I don't go surfing and polluting his history, or replying to a video I watch and realize I replied as Sparky and that kind of thing. So you got to be, you got to be aware after that of which one of you're signed in as.
Right. That makes sense. My question is that as far as you emailing him my channel, how do you do that? I mean, I email him a video and then he find it that way, or?
No, he sent me something. Now, it's been a long time. It's been back since May since we did it. But as I recall, he sent me something that popped up as a form, and I had to enter my Google login address. And then he used that login email and address and login to make me enabled for both sites, yours and mine,
Okay.
or his and mine.
Okay.
So I think that's probably what he's up to.
Okay.
But, if you're looking at your YouTube page right now, if you got it where you can look at it, go click up there where your little round avatar is and see if you don't see two accounts, yours and his. Because his is the plane with the, you know, yellow nose and the checkerboard and the silver. I don't know what it's the nose of, but you know what it looks like. You see it on my chat box avatar.
I haven't sent him my in my YouTube yet, so he probably hasn't done anything yet. I got to send it to him.
Yeah,
I just
y'all will
remembered
have
that today.
what y'all are going to have to do is get on the phone and the computer at the same time together,
All right.
and get it fixed up. Ah,
Yeah.
here comes Gerald. Good evening, Gerald.
Oh, hello, Rusty. Hello, Charles and
Hey, what's
Jamie.
up?
I changed a few things. Did you have any trouble getting in tonight? Did you
No, I
use?
just came in through. I came in through the at the bench feed.
Oh, okay.
On Stunthangar.
Yeah, that's how
Okay.
I did it also. I did the same
I was
thing.
wondering if the Stunthangar, if the YouTube notifications were still up there. I checked.
They came through.
I checked with Jamie a while ago, and he still had his, but I switched it over to unlisted, and wanted to make sure that everybody that is subscribed actually still has their announcement. But
That
it looks
sounds a
like
good plan.
it's-
Yeah, I got my YouTube notification, but yeah, that sounds like a good idea to
Good.
control the site.
So as soon as we went live, I switched over to unlisted. So hopefully nobody, unless the spammers are subscribed to this channel.
Yeah,
I
hopefully
better
not.
not, or I might be giving them clues how to get in. So
Sorry to hear about your praying, Jamie. That's not good news.
Not too bad.
just a little pancake, a little too much pancake mix in the balsa.
Uh,
I get the rudder somewhere around here. I don't know where it's at. Lord, that kid's pissed off.
Well, I did a similar thing to Jamie with my ME 109 on the weekend. It was rather bizarre how I managed to have mine mishit. We had some really strong wind. It was blowing 20 knots, and we were all trying to practice ready for our stunt meet this weekend. And so I thought, well, I'll just fly regardless of the 20-knot winds. And I was doing the square eights, and when I got inverted on the first part of the square, the tail came off.
Oh,
And,
God.
Yeah, I was going downwind, and you just felt the sudden tug, and I thought, I'm not going to make it upwind again. I'm inverted. I'll just bring it in gently inverted. And luckily, the only real damage was to my canopy. That's all sort of broken up into a little bitty bit.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, hopefully I can glue that back together, and I'll glue my tail on, and I'll put some triangular reinforcing on the tail. So my tail's got some reinforcements now
Yeah.
underneath.
Well, you got a lot of kick out on that tail.
Yeah. I had it so it was sort of I had it movable before, but I was having some fun with overhead line tension, so I put a lot more kick out.
You're out of range of your microphone now.
Sorry, I didn't have a whole lot of overhead line tension on the day, but that could have just been the weather. So I added extra offset on the rudder when I was gluing it back on, basically. But yeah, probably a mistake. I used to have active rudder on it, and so it's hinged further up the rudder. It is hinged, but I probably really should have gone back to an active rudder. But I was just trying to rework it quickly and get it flying again.
When I put the rudder on my P40, I put a couple of pin hinges and a piece of aluminum in as a hinge on one, so that I thought maybe I'd be able to bend it over to different positions and that aluminum would hold it, but it doesn't. I was disappointed that the aluminum won't hold it in place. It's still way back to where it starts. I see Mike Lang, the YouTube side, watching us. Hey, Mike. Maybe he can come in and join us live.
That would be good. Yeah, I'll try and piece that one back together for the weekend anyway. I had my other practice model, my backup model. The muffler fell apart on me on the flying field, and I thought I was going to have to fix that up as well. Have 2 models ready for the weekend. So that's my lot.
I've had more mufflers fall off flying.
I've only lost one. I slung one over into the woods at Huntersville one time and never have found it. And I didn't want to go thrashing around in the underbrush too much out there. No telling what I might find that I didn't want to find.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
It was one of those 762 muffler. The tail end of them came off. There must be different way. I think there's some of those are pressed together and some of them are screwed together. And this one was pressed together and the tail end of it just flew off.
Oh, that's a worry. So I suppose if you found you had a pressed one, you probably just have to put pins in it, or maybe put some epoxy around it. I don't know.
Yeah.
The old OS mufflers used to unscrew. They had a little lock nut on the back of it. And if you didn't put the lock nut on the back, then the back would undo while you're flying.
Yeah. Or spin around and blow exhaust all over the wing or something.
Yeah. There's 702, 703, 704. Their old series of mufflers were supposed to be quite restrictive, but for stunt flying they work fine. I used many of those in the past. But,
as far as I know, mine don't have any restrictors in them. But I've never had a new muffler to take apart and look inside of. So I guess everybody that's given me a muffler over the years has given ones that already had the restrictor taken out.
Oh, what's that, Jamie?
This is a ringmaster that a guy in the club that lives farther away than anybody from where we fly donated to the club. It's an RSM ringmaster of some sort. I'm just going to say that. But it's very light. The controls, he used some kind of music wire. I have no idea. 3/32. No, maybe not that small.
Solid. Yeah.
I mean, y'all can probably tell.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I'll tell you
quite
what.
a heavy duty music wire leader.
I had solid music wire on that tutor I was flying last spring, and it was bent into a diamond shape at the end where the clips connect to it, and they kept getting stuck together in the middle of a flight. And the only flight from one of the contests I filmed had a example of them sticking together when I went up into two maneuvers. First was the horizontal 8. I went to do my first loop and did my second loop. And then my next loop, it just kept going up, and I'm yanking on the wires. I finally got them unhooked, and it came back around and did a funny looking loop. But
I mean, this is the smoothest I ever felt a control. I mean, it just glides. It's crazy. Now its push rod assembly here it's out there.
is it a wire push rod?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
You would
What are
have
you
to
talking about, Jamie?
It's the RSM Ringmaster. And if I remember right, it had the 2 wires, a carbon rod, and some wood dowels. Well, he did a lot of soldering on here with wires. But hey, it works. Yeah, I guess. You know, it's all that matters. It works.
Yeah.
And I guess it's
Does the wire flex or no, not?
the thing about it was that
Wire flex?
was the wire. Oh no, man! You could kill somebody with that thing. It ain't got no bend to it. You probably could drive a golf ball 400 yards with it. I guess it's covered with silk span. That's what it looks like. I know it's painted in dope. It's tight, but at the same time, it's not that tight because I can like really press into it. So it's got some sag to it. But man, you know what? He donated to the club to be like a community flyer, so who cares?
Yeah. If you've got some flex to it, it's not dry rotted. Dave Wenzel brought me a little half A plane he wanted me to fly because he'd seen a video of me flying half A and decided I was the pilot he wanted to try it. And he handed it to me, and the first thing I did was put my thumb through the fucking wing.
Oh, no.
God. So I just handed it back to him. We didn't fly it that weekend. That was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got one more. No, y'all got to see this. I'm not trying to pick on the fella because he really is a great guy and all. But look at the offset and the rudder.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like me. Yeah.
Oh,
Not much. Yeah.
that's got me turn to it, then, you know, I ain't going to say it, but man. But hold on. I got one more. You're going to like this.
Yeah, Mike and both Mikes say the dope just keeps shrinking forever, so it's going to get tighter and tighter with age.
Man,
And then
that's
they start tearing apart.
years old. All right, here's the next thing we got. Next on for show and tell.
Nobler ARF.
All right.
We got a nobler arm.
Mm.
It's a fun flyer. It's a fun flyer. It's a fun flyer. Look, there's the offset. You can see it.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah, that's an absurd amount of offset.
But I like his ingenuity for it.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's different.
Oh, yes. And he beefed up underneath here. Got, I guess, some pine wood or something.
Yeah, to brace that stabilizer.
The tank would never ever come out again.
I got a couple of years out of it before I destroyed it. But I had a FP35 in it. That thing flew great.
Let me see. I never took the cowling off, so I don't know what the tank looks like. But judging by the plumbing,
looks like it's got real hinges in it instead of those CA hinges.
it is. It looks like the hinges that come with it, the big white ones.
Different ones came with different hinges, so you know.
Oh, okay.
So when you say CA hinges, Rusty, do you mean the solid hinge one that doesn't have a pin?
That's right. It's a fabric with a laminated plastic, and the fabric wicks the CA, and you stick it in the wing, and then put CA on it, and it wicks all the way through and glues itself in. Then you have to rock them back and forth to make sure they don't get too stiff.
And then they crack over time.
Yeah, they do.
I put those on the elevator on my P40, and now I wish I hadn't. But I do have real hinges, pin hinges on my flap hinges. So.
Yes,
Man,
Kentucky had
get away with it. It's no. I mean, overall, it's nobler. It's not that bad. Like I say, you just throw in an engine, hook up, and just fly the shit out of it. That's about test winners. These are to put smiles on people's faces.
Yeah.
Either that or make
ARF's a good flyer. Everyone I've flown has flown really nice.
I got two of them. Okay, there's the tank. Yeah, you got some kind of white stuff in there. I have no idea what this dude did.
Is that a metal tank a metal tank or a plastic tank?
It's a metal tank.
Okay, that must be one of the older ARFs then.
Yeah, I mean it's way in there. So I don't even know what engine he had on it. I really do not remember. Let me see. Let me see if the bolt pattern matches the 40. I know one thing. You know, keep them if I want them. I'm good. I got enough ringmasters and I got enough noblers. Club can have it.
Charles, what sort of tank have the new ones got? Have they got a plastic tank on the new ones?
A white plastic clunk tank.
How do they compare to the metal tank?
Oh, it's a bigger volume. The original tank, you could barely get the pattern in there. The newer one came with a, I think it's like almost a 6-ounce. It's a taller rectangular tank, and it had like a plug in the center. And yeah, I don't have one available to show you, but it's definitely an upgrade. That was the biggest complaint when they first came out. It wasn't a big enough tank to do the full pattern.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the Nobler still?
Yeah.
Nobler ARF. Yeah, when it first came out, they came out.
Clunk tank. I had a Dubro clunk tank in mine, and I think it was only 4 ounces, but it was fine for the FB35, and it fit perfectly inside the cavity.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one that came with the kit. When you got the Nobler ARF, it actually comes with the tank.
Well, I never put my Nobler ARF together. It was just an old thing somebody had abandoned because it wasn't built right. They had glued the epoxy hinges all together and hadn't even stripped off the monocoat where the surfaces are supposed to be glued together. It was just total catastrophe, and so nobody wanted it. And when Wayne went to leave Triple Tree, this was up at Joe Knoll about 4 or 5 years ago, somebody had tossed it in the back of his truck, and it ended up coming home with him. So he knocked it back apart and put new hinges on it, and it flew good. He flew it for a summer and then gave it to me, and I flew it for a couple of years and did pretty well with it.
Yeah, they fly pretty good.
Yeah, the two that I have has the clunk tank. But with this one, though, I'm not going to... I mean, I may end up flying this one. I'm not going to keep this one, though. I mean, it'd be good to play around with, but, I mean, with all that offset, fan for a skid, and I don't know. I got a feeling somebody might get hurt.
You can fix that offset with an X-Acto knife and some glue and sawdust or shim or something.
That's true. Those are easy things to fix.
Oh, well, I might make mine adjustable.
I'm not going to diss the man's building or anything like that because I've seen his other planes. He built like some actual classic ships. And I mean, phenomenal, just great.
Oh, wow.
I think these were just like slapped together just to, I don't know, he might have done these when he first got back in the control line or something. Who knows? Because them other builds he did are, I mean, extremely nice. I just don't remember what planes it was. I really don't. I think one of them might have been like a Thunderbird or something.
Well, just like everybody else here, none of us knew what the hell we were doing when we first started, and especially if it was before internet forums, you know, you didn't know who to believe and who not to believe when you got advice. So.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all seen any of Suge's videos, especially the ones where he's at the Iowa Polk City contest or whatever, the guy I got these planes from is in that video.
All right.
Has Suge been posting it all lately? I hadn't been on Stunthangar much lately.
Hiking stuff here and there. I know that he was on like a week-long hike a while back.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of his videos for a while. But, yeah, he did some quite brilliant videos. They're a lot of fun. The kids always enjoy it because he adds his comic element to his videos, and that always helps pull people in.
Yeah, he's funny.
Have you ever tried any of his peach ice cream? Have you seen the one where he makes ice cream?
No.
Wayne made some of that stuff, and it's delicious.
Oh, that's something to check out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the video I've seen of you and him, something about passing a pull test, and like, yeah. See, now Rusty's going to ignore me. He's going to ignore what I just said.
I'm sorry, I was not on with what you said. I was busy scanning the chat side. Sorry.
Oh, no, that video that Suge has of you and him, I forget which contest y'all had.
Yeah.
And when y'all pass the pull test, you like throw down your hand and you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Full test I'd ever done. Yeah, I had a good time. I had a good time hanging around with him that weekend. Mike Lonke was up there that weekend too. I think he flew with me and Shug, and that was when Mike was still flying a beginner, I think, and me and Shug were flying our first intermediate. In fact, Shug never did fly beginner. He went straight to intermediate.
Was he an old flyer that came back to it though?
Yeah.
Yeah, he done it as a kid and with his dad and his maybe brothers, but his dad anyway. And he went off. He ran off with the circus, and he was a clown, Barnum and Bailey clown, and he's a multi-talented individual to say the least.
Oh yeah.
He can ride a unicycle and fly a bi-slob.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was quite amazing. That. Yeah. Yeah, we attract quite some interesting individuals to control line flying, and we had one guy in our club in the past that would ride down to the field on a unicycle carrying his model in one hand and his field kit in the other, and,
Wow.
and he was quite incredible. But yeah, a lot of those young guys that were really keen went on to do other things. They sort of went through the adolescent years flying and then moved on, which is a bit of a shame because a lot of them were quite talented.
Yeah. Life changes, you know, you got school and girlfriends, and then after that, college and work, and so a lot of us don't get back into it until the kids are old enough to play with, you know, your airplanes and stuff, and so a lot of retreads out there. Hey, there's a little baby Holford girl.
Yeah.
Bringing her in early, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, sweetie.
She actually looks around now.
How old is she, Jamie?
A little over 2 months. Come on, girl, give him the finger.
Oh. Pretty good for 2 months. Oh, that's doing well.
That's funny.
Yeah, we took our oldest son when he was 6 months old to his first contest, and we just got him to release his model. That's all he had to do, and he doesn't remember ever going, obviously, because he was only 6 months old. But then it went through the phase where it was just too difficult to take them anywhere, and only now, as they're a bit older, it's easier to take them again. So you probably find that as well, Jamie, that they get to a point where they're just too loud and rowdy and difficult to take along. And then they settle down a bit more and get older.
Hey, you gotta be like one of those that drag their kids everywhere, kids screaming, hollering, and fighting, and all this other stuff. You gonna stay home. Babysitter, where you at? I'm going. What?
Oh yeah, I was going to say that's what I was going to mention. My Magnum, I can only put a clunk tank in it. I can't put the normal.
You get it to yourself.
The nose is too short.
Couldn't hear all of you what you said.
Oh, sorry. With my Magnum, I can't put in my 6 ounce metal tank because I shortened the nose ever so slightly and moved the former back, and now I'm going to have to run with the clunk tank, a 6 ounce clunk tank. But I found on my other model that the pylon 6 ounce tank was a very nice compact shape, slightly longer than the Dubro tank, and it looks like it's working well. I set it up like Brusty set up his tank with a RC style clunk and a vent, and that worked quite well on the weekend running that. But I needed that bigger tank, and that was the only way I could fit it into my model, was using a very rectangular pylon brand tank. But I haven't seen them around. I've just had to pick them up second hand where I've managed to find them. The Dubro ones are a little bit I think they're a little bit wider, the Dubro ones, and they don't fit in quite as well. A little bit higher as well.
There's also Sullivan too, makes clunk tanks also.
I've got one of those tanks with the little tongue on the front of it. I haven't used it yet. It's the first one that I've had like that. But yeah, I just found a picture of my usual setup. Let me see if I can show that to you.
I'll just get mine. Right. Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a nice illustration.
That's how I always set mine up. I gave up trying to make a Uniflow follower that would either follow this, or some people just put them straight in and straight down, or others put them straight out across that way. But this works fine here. I just use one of these as the fill tube and the other one as the pressure tube, or open vent. But I prefer to put pressure to it. That way it doesn't suck in grass and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll work.
It looks good. Yeah, I saw it there. That's just my wife came on the phone as well. But yeah, I saw your tank, and that's basically the setup I was using on the weekend. It worked quite well. The two vents, do you find when you're fueling, do you fill through the feed tube, or do you fill through one of the vents and vent out the other?
One of the vents, and then usually one's got a line going to the muffler, and one I just unplug and fuel through that. And then when fuel starts running out the stinger on the muffler, I know I've got a full tank. Or you know, you can watch. You can see through it, so you don't really have to watch for it dribbling out the other side. So yeah, that's another thing I like about the clunk tanks. You can see the fuel level through them, so
Yeah.
you
perfect on a
don't have to
profile,
worry so much. You know, with the metal tanks, you got to fill them up and then draw back out, so you know exactly how much fuel you have in it. But if you can see through the tank, then you know whether you're adding more or less. If you temperature changes between rounds or something like that, and you want to add more or less fuel, it makes it easier.
It's great for the kids too, because you can give them half a tank and you know how much you've given them exactly. If they say, "Oh, this model's a bit quick, I don't want a full tank," it makes it nice and easy. The other great thing is in a crash they don't split, and that just seems to be a continual problem. And a lot of the guys in our club have is just vibrating tanks and splitting tanks. They come down to the field and then start flying, and then next thing they've sprung a leak and they're out of running. Whereas at least the plastic tanks, you don't have that problem. Or if they leak, it's an unusual split or your rubber bung's gone. As long as you've got a spare rubber bung with you, you're fine.
Yeah.
What's
So,
this
Rusty,
added?
you use a pump to fill your fuel, Rusty?
What'd you say, Charles?
You use a pump to fill your tank? You don't use a syringe?
No, I use a 5-ounce syringe.
Okay.
5 or 6.
That's what I do too. I use a
I bought one from Jim Lee, and that's the syringe I use.
nice setup.
Yeah, and he puts the screws in it so you can hook your line up to it, and so it's not flopping around and getting grass and dirt in the end of it too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know who has also a nice tank is Dub Jet and the Rojet fueler. It's about an 8-ounce fueler, I believe.
Now, can you run it backwards? Can you pull fuel back out of the tank with it?
Yeah, I believe so.
And has it got some kind of a counter on it that counts milliliters? Okay.
Yeah, it's a graduated piston, and it's pretty long. It's I was interested in checking it out. It's about $30, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's not.
I was watching the Wendy video, and he was trying Dub Jet's system, which is basically a system that doesn't create any air bubbles.
Yeah.
He has like a clunk tank with it looked almost like a pressure tank in there, like a bladder system inside a clunk tank. And when you fill it, it creates a system where no air gets in there, so you get an excellent engine run throughout.
Called a bubbleless tank.
Like the old balloon tanks. Yeah, in the early days, people used balloon tanks, and they'd put the balloon in between two pieces of wood and rubber bands around them. So it would be a low pressure, but no air in the tank. It just fed fuel through the whole till the end of the flight. But I've never seen somebody do it in practice. I just remember reading it in an old books.
Yeah.
Old balloon tank.
Oh shit! Oh,
You're tired too. So am I. I'm sleepy also.
It's crazy. I'll see y'all Friday.
Okay. See you later, Jamie. Thanks
man.
for
Okay, well,
coming in.
good night, Jamie.
Later.
Right.
Kind
My
of
wife
a
said
late
she's going to
night,
be home
Monday
early.
night crowd.
And my wife rang up to say she's going to be home early, so I'll probably have to get heading off soon. I've got a whole lot of unfinished jobs I ran in to do to watch Stunthangar, but I've got to go out and finish putting oil in the car and water blasting the engine. So
Yeah,
I'll have
you
to
better-
rush out.
You got to go out and make it look like you put in a full day's work.
Yeah, get my cast all greasy and grimy.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
You hadn't got
I'll
much
try
longer
not
in
to.
that cast, do you? What, about another week or two?
Yeah, they're supposed to take it off on Monday. They'll give it another X-ray, and if it's mending, then hopefully it'll come off. But at this stage, I'm not holding out that they'll bring it off. It might have to stay on another week or so, because they said it just wasn't mending the type of brake that it was. It's sort of a
Yeah.
spliced brake rather than a clean brake. So, yeah, it's just a curse. But I suppose. All these things, it makes you realize when you've got when everything's working well, you've got to enjoy it. I hope they manage to fix up your hip, Rusty, and you can get back into building and flying again.
Oh, yeah. I hope we'll know next week whether I'm gonna be able to get this thing fixed or not. I'd hate to think I can't fix it, but I'll work with what I get. I'll find a way to keep building, but whether I can fly or not, I don't know. It remains to be seen.
Well, there's a whole lot of videos on Stunthangar right now about people flying using like a barber's chair, where they're sitting in the chair and going round. There's a number of people flying ringmasters. I just saw that in the last couple of days.
Yeah, I just watched it today myself. Yeah, Jamie
Kind of hard
posted.
to compete like that. I mean, you can't backstep with the wind and that sort of thing. But if you've got one of those electric chairs and you got your joystick for the chair in your left hand and your flight lines in your right hand, then you can work that chair any way you want to once you get coordinated with it. So I reckon
that does sound good.
like that. I don't even want to. I'm not even going to think about stuff like that until I get there. So we'll see how it goes. But it was just a real disappointment for 3 weeks thinking I was improving and then finding out the damn thing was broken. Not just broken in several places. So my mission now is to not bust it all the way through between now and when we can come up with the surgery plan. Maybe just run some pins in there that'll hold it together for a couple of years. If I can get a couple more years out of it, I'll be happy with that until a couple of years passes at least.
And how's your wife? Is she back on both feet now? Is she
Not
okay with her?
She's still wearing the boot, and that she's been doing more on it than she should be because I need her assistance with so much that it's sore. But I think it's healing okay, and she's got a follow-up appointment coming up too, so she'll get the word on that pretty soon. But it's not a cast; it's just a boot. She can take it off for sleep at night, but she found out right away that she needs the boot for walking around in the daytime.
Well, it's a relief. At least she can take it off at night. That'd be a great relief.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Well, fairly quiet tonight. Not that many people on tonight.
Yeah, I was worried at first that people weren't getting the YouTube notifications because I made this one unlisted, but the link's always there on Stunthangar, and that's not people who aren't a member of Stunthangar can't get to that. That's what I'm told. I hadn't tested that yet. I'd have to log in as incognito, I guess. and see if I can find it. But that makes it a little harder for people to just randomly jump in here for fun. They're kind of fun.
Yeah, well, all the serious players and on Stunthangar would all that join the live feed would all be Stunthangar members, I would imagine, anyway.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'd be surprised if somebody from one of us is messing with us. I think it's just kids having fun. They think it's fun to bust up a bunch of old guys talking about airplanes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I suppose we're vulnerable in that sense, and they know the technology. They seem to be able to master these things so quickly.
Yeah.
But there's live feeds of all different things in this day and age, and they're probably just trolling around trying to find something they can get into.
Yeah, most of them have powerful gaming systems too, and they can set up scripts that will go out and hack and automatically reload when they get kicked out with a new name and a new proxy server, and so you know, they flood us.
Oh well, I suppose I'm far from that world. Happy to fly with my control line models, and I have to say the first person videos flying these new radio control models where the FPV and the technology in the drones, it just puts me off in a way. I sort of think back of early days of flying, and it just seems so distant from that now.
Yeah.
Even a simple radio model is very
On
simple.
the other hand, I have seen people doing things with drones that looks like it would be pretty much fun. You know, flying the courses through obstacle courses and that sort of thing. But I'm not going to get involved in it. I don't have the kind of money it takes to invest in drones or anything like that. I just love flying control line planes.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting on one of Sparky's promo video. He's got an airfield. I think there's two circles, and one of the flyers is being videoed by a drone. It was very interesting, just the perspective of seeing the drone flying over the control line model, seeing the hemisphere that it was flying in.
Yeah, it is.
And I suppose when you see a camera and a control line model going through the maneuvers again, it's incredible just watching the perspectives as they go vertically towards the ground and suddenly they're flipped over, they're inverted. It's so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit dizzying watching a camera and a model like that, but yeah, it's incredible. None the same. Nobody here in New Zealand seems to have gone to that length to put a video and a control line model. And it's a bit of a mix. Those that really love their technology and those that are fossils like me that would rather just stick with what's simple.
Yeah.
When we have the show now once a year, that gives us a good opportunity for all of the different disciplines of aero modeling to be mixed up together in the same area. And so we will get some guys that'll come over with their drones and film us from above, and so we get to see, we get to see a lot of what they do. They get to see a lot of what we do, and frankly, they're amazed at what we can do with our simple mechanical technology.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing. I've had the same response from people who fly RC who've never seen control line. When they roll up on me at the field, sometimes they're just flabbergasted. They've never seen it before. Some have never even heard of it before.
Or if they have, when they hear control line, they think back and remember plastic Cox models and that sort of thing.
Yeah, with strings. They always say that. You still fly with string?
Yeah.
I don't use string. I use stainless steel cable.
Yeah.
And then you pull out anything bigger than a 2.5, and they say, "Wow, you fly something that big." They're amazed if you're flying a 60 or something. But
yeah, I know
those public perceptions.
Yeah, it is.
But what Ron Hass just posted with drones, the judges will have replay for the pattern. Oh, no way, Mike. No way, Ron.
Hey, well, you know what? There's something to say about that. It'd be nice sometimes to have replay. That way, we make sure the person actually won actually, you know, earned it. You know.
Mm. Yeah, well, I suppose they've got that in so many other sports. It'll probably happen in time if somebody fronts up with the right technology. They could probably do it. They could probably video our pattern and score it at the time. But I suppose it's just what technology does. It does give you a new perspective on things.
Usually, when the judges are judging, they really can't see the plane the whole time. I think the brain can only see like 15 or 16 frames per second, and so sometimes the brain just fills it in. If the plane is,
Yeah.
and the brain just fills it in. But you know, who knows if it's filmed it incorrectly? Someone else could actually have a sharper corner. And anyway, it's just another conversation. But you know, it would be kind of neat to have. Like, you know, when I see some of these contests, I've seen a person win by a third of a point, and I'm just like, how do you differentiate one pilot with a third of a point? You know?
Yeah, it is pretty cool, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, what's up? How are you?
I'm scared because there's thunder going on.
Oh, thunder and lightning outside right now, and yeah, he's a little bit
really?
worried.
Chicken, really.
Oh yeah, y'all got springtime weather, thunderstorms.
Yeah.
I love thunder. I love thunder and lightning.
Yeah, if it's almost to the point in the year now where I start counting the weeks and months till springtime. So I don't call it spring until it's I guess mid-April, late April, but it's not really dependable spring until May.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think our best flying is actually in the fall and in the spring. Is our best flying out here.
Yeah, spring is always very turbulent. You have a fairly stable wind in your spring, and in the fall.
The wind doesn't get too strong in the fall and in the spring. In the summer, because of Arizona being so hot, it just seems like the wind just accelerates in the summer. You have a lot more wind down here, so you have heat and you have somewhat humidity out here. Not much, not compared to other places, but then the winds kick up in the summer. You know, but in the fall, right now, I mean, it's just like stunt heaven. It's cool, slight breeze. You know, so you have all kinds of lift, all kinds of performance in the motor. I mean, it's like you have everything you want. And this happens this time of year, and then later on in the spring, it's a similar thing where you have all the horsepower and all the lift you can want.
Yeah.
And when it gets hot, then you lose lift and you lose performance. You know, when it gets really hot.
Yeah, and the flyers lose performance too because they get all hot and flustered, and you want to take some shade,
Yeah, when it gets hot and I start really breaking a heavy sweat, I get a little stupid, and it's you know, hard to focus when it's really blazing hot outside.
Yeah, that's why you envy those people that get in their flights at the early part of the day or later on at the end of the day. You sort of feel sorry for those that are flying in the right there in the peak of the heat.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not really bothered by the heat myself personally. When I'm out there flying, I'm so focused and determined, you know, and usually when it's hot, I'm the only one out there, so I get to fly after flight, and I can make adjustments and see how the plane responds or how the engine responds. And so I kind of like it when I'm out there. You know, as I've had other people in our club who will text me and go, "Oh, it's too hot, I'm not going to show up," and I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to be able to go out there and get some work done.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's a similar thing. When it's really windy, I'll often try and fly, even if it's not ideal. I just think it's still practice. And often on those contest days, it is windy, and you've got to fly regardless. If you want to compete, you have to fly in the wind.
If you want to compete, you better know how to fly in the wind.
Absolutely, yeah. You definitely need to be able to fly in the wind, because the last contest is that. And you know, the forum says different, but it's funny to me. But there was wind. I didn't have my anemometer working. I didn't have a good battery, but it felt like 15-mile-an-hour winds. So not all day, but I felt it, you know. And maybe it was 12, 15, but it was good. I wasn't afraid because I've been practicing in the wind, and so it wasn't strange to me.
The worst thing about the wind for me is it makes the vertical dives accelerate so fast.
Yeah, that's how it was for me when I flew last time. But with this stalker, I have it running in a 4-cycle, and I just kind of make it so that it won't go into a 2-cycle, so it really doesn't speed up. Even when it's going down, it just my engine works like a brake, like a governor.
Yeah,
and
it
it was
having
very
that big
unique.
prop.
Yeah, big prop, 13-inch prop.
Well, was theirs crash spectacular in the wind on Sunday?
Yes, if you're wondering what I meant by crash, the tail was wobbling. I'll show you the time. If you can see, if you can imagine this bit.
You have to bring it forward, but yeah, you can explain.
It's similar to and this bit here was wobbling.
Oh wow!
Yes, and I saw it, I was like, what the hell's happening? I don't have any faults or anything. And there it was very nice.
And it pulled off, didn't it?
Yeah, it pulled off.
That's funny.
I like that metallic green.
That is a pretty color. Yeah.
It's an old model. A lot of mine are old models I built 20 plus years ago. But yeah, I've been trying to get back into stunt and put a bit more effort into that. And with this contest on the weekend, you'll get to see a lot of new people flying that you haven't seen before, Max. And
Which is probably 4, 3, 5-year-old.
Wow.
yeah, there'll probably be half a dozen people at least flying stunt, F2B stunt, and probably another dozen people flying sportsman stunt on the weekend.
Yeah, and that's actually good because when there's like the ringmaster flights, in New Zealand, there's only one, and that was Gerald, my dad.
Oh, that was for the ringmaster-a-thon. Yeah. But encourage a bit more interest in flying ringmasters.
And there's heaps in Australia, heaps. And I can tell you, it's actually much more popular. And I really think we should unplug our stupid computers because all these little kiddies nowadays just go.
Yeah, that's right. And they're doing the thumbs. That's all they're doing, right, Max? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I gave up on my tablet. In fact, it wasn't very fair because it makes you go angry. When it's something small, and then you can think it's your life. And like this man in Japan I heard about, he just kept watching soccer until he died because he didn't have any sleep.
Wow.
That was during the Soccer World Cup.
Yeah.
A chap that didn't go to sleep for like 5 days, and then it was a young guy. He died because he was just so focused on the soccer matches. He wouldn't miss a soccer match, and he missed all his sleep continually until eventually, I think he had a stroke or something, and he died. But yeah, that's different to flying.
Yeah.
But
that's when you really want to fly control line.
Wow.
Yeah, well, maybe next year you'll have to build the ringmaster and fly on the ringmaster-a-thon, eh?
Yes, and also free flight, and that's better too.
What happened? You did your first loop on the weekend, didn't you?
Yes, it was only an accident.
Hey, congratulations! That's awesome, Max.
Yeah.
Wasn't
bad.
Awesome.
Yeah, you've got to keep working on it though.
Yeah, I can do straight, level, high, low.
You've got to work on your wing overs and loops.
And really what I'm aiming for is the figure eight,
The figure eight,
yeah, and I think the 4-leaf clovers are really tricky. And that hourglass, I think that's for the really good professionals. And also those
good hourglass.
Squares, it's hard to get that square edge.
Yeah, that nice edge, to make it look like a triangle and not like a circle.
Yeah, and circles are really easy, just all around. But when it comes to squares, it's really got it's like a matter of skill, not luck.
And a good plane too. A good plane that'll pull.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Y'all look what I just found in the recommended videos. This was from a couple of Mondays ago. This is somebody else's website. Do y'all see what I'm sharing here?
Ah,
Yeah, I
hey,
see. Yeah.
Oh
they've nicked-
gosh!
They've nicked your image, haven't they?
Yeah, they really they've not got it right.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to control
Yeah.
what happens on the
They
internet.
were
Though.
like, oh, what's this?
It is hard.
Yeah.
It's just one of those
It
things.
is. Huh?
I'm like,
Hi, Mike.
Wow.
Hey,
Interesting.
Mike.
Finally got in.
All right. What was the problem?
I was trying to go in through YouTube and it wouldn't let me join that way.
Oh, good.
I pulled
Yeah, I made it.
Not just you, Mike, but the other people. The other people who don't want.
I made it unlisted, but I don't know if you got a notification or not. But that link might have quit working when I made it unlisted.
What I did was I went to Stunthangar and went right back on my phone and got in that way.
Yeah.
Am I coming through?
Yeah,
Yeah, you are.
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah,
there it is.
you're doing good. I can,
Well, I'm going to have to report that guy that posted that video of us. That must be one of the ones that was so proud of hacking us. He had to make his own video of it and post it. And it just coincidentally popped up on my recommended up next videos.
Yeah.
God, and you didn't even do it?
No. Rusty didn't do it. Somebody stole the image off Stunthangar. That's part of what technology does nowadays. People go and mess
Yeah,
around with it.
they go copyright. Like
They hit us.
they just copy everybody's stuff.
They copied the whole video. It looks like it's only 22 minutes long because they hit us within the first 5 minutes we were in here that night.
Yeah.
And then they took over my controls and kept muting my mic, so we had to bail out. I'm glad they were proud of themselves.
It's frustrating, but I suppose it's just that thing. We're always going to be living with people that are trying to muck up what we're doing, but at least they can't come and crash our models, can they?
No, they can't do that.
That's right.
They can't just pop out of the screen and go into the living room and go, oh, that looks nice.
They can't hack a control line model, no.
They don't
Hey,
know
I'm gonna
what
do
parts they want.
I'm
They
gonna
have
do
to tell them.
I'm going to do a quick show and tell here, man. RC swap meet last weekend. I did pretty good. If y'all can.
Okay, Mike, I don't have any video on you right now. Now we do.
Oh,
There it is. Got it.
LA 25, $15.
Not bad.
That's a great little engine, too.
Well, I'm going to make a speed limit combat motor of it. I'm having to stand in the door to my garage because if I actually go by my workbench, I drop my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm getting a Wi-Fi booster, so I'll be able to do this. LA 46, very lightly used, $25.
Oh, that is
fantastic.
It's already got a control line Venturi on it. I'll ditch that remote and put one of Tom Dixon's in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's a Blade CX2. I picked that up for $25. The guy didn't know much about it. And when I took it home, it was all still taped in the box. It was brand new.
Oh, it's cheap.
Yeah, one of those coaxial helicopters. That's pretty cool.
It had never been flown. And I think I might have showed you guys these motors last time I was on. I'm not sure. These are all half A motors. They're Russian VAs. And a couple of Norville AMEs in there. Combat guy out of Texas, Don Cranfield, sent these to me for my son so we can fly half A combat in the backyard. Bunch of plugs.
Howard Shenton called me tonight asking if I knew where he might be able to find a couple of inexpensive AMEs.
They're hard to come by.
And Mike's son's the same age as you, nearly, Max. I think he's 9.
Yeah, Sam is 9. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a very good flyer. I've seen Sam flying in some of the videos I showed you him flying. I said,
looks like you got a bunch of propellers too there, Mike.
Yeah, there's some F2D props in there, and then a lot of good Russian half-A stuff for Cyclones and Profis and 4s and whatnot. What are you flying currently there, son?
are
Showman.
yeah, Showman
It's
and
a
Wildcats. If you haven't seen it lately, this is a lot of fun. I need to do all the soundproofing and all, and I actually know my playing Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Christy said it's like a ring rat.
Yeah, ring.
It's a
Sure, there you go. Are you?
And it's funny. I even put another one, like,
Are you?
and it's funny too. And Dad made up this little joke about it. And you know those ringmasters that have the number 16 on them? It's like mine is doubly good because it's 16 because 16 plus 16 equals 32, doesn't it?
Are you stunt
yeah.
yet?
I don't.
Oops, sorry, you just dropped something. He's
Yeah.
flown scale. You actually came quite well in profile
Yeah,
scale.
third.
At our nationals, yeah, you came third. It's his profile scale model.
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you can look here, yeah, wheel missing. Bounced off.
I've got to put the wheel back on. Yeah, that came off the other week when we were flying.
And then a bit of this got broke. So, well, we crashed. I was going really well, and suddenly it just went and it nosedived.
Well, we've got to hop on it.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
And we're going really well, and I have a really big fuel tank on it. So you know how I asked you, you two did squats.
Yeah.
And we actually had a nice long flight. I was very proud of myself.
Yeah, we swapped over handles. I would fly in my left hand, and then he would grab it with his right hand out of my hand. And,
Okay.
My right hand if I was left.
yeah, we swapped over about half a dozen times, didn't we?
Yeah, so that happened.
Yeah, and your brother was flying on the weekend too. Your brother's 10. Yeah, he's got a similar model.
Yeah.
And Mike will show you his brother's model. His brother's 10.
He's got Japanese model.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's Otto's model.
Oh, that looks good.
Okay. So looks like you fly a lot of scale stuff. Do you fly any stunt at all?
Yeah, I used to fly a lot of stunt, and I'm trying to get the two boys into flying stunt because we don't have enough scale contest here. We just really have scale events twice a year, and if they fly stunt, then there's a lot more for them to fly.
And
here is Auckland, New Zealand.
Auckland, New Zealand. Okay, I thought
we
so.
live in Kakanui.
Oh yeah, we're north of Auckland actually. Yeah.
Near Warkworth, if you've ever looked on Google Earth.
Well, I know
we're on.
There's a lot of pulse jet guys down there in New Zealand and also Australia. A lot of guys fly pulse jet speed stuff. Do you do any of that?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
We don't, but the Robinson brothers do. The Robinsons, they fly in New Plymouth, and they're really keen on pulse jet. We've got one guy in our club, Bob Reynolds, he flies pulse jet too. I have to say, watching Sparky's videos of the guys flying stunt models with pulse jets on is incredible. And his new promo video, is a pair of pulse jet stunt models flying together in what looks like mock combat.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen it, but
that's Dan and Mike Palco. I actually helped those guys get those things started at Brodax and at the Nats. I was part of their pit crew.
You watched it yesterday, man.
Yeah, and actually wasn't bad. I like the idea, but I was a bit scared if I tried to fly it, like start up. Like if I stand behind the plane, you know that big flare that catch on my pants.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's great, Mike. So you're actually part of those videos then.
Well, yeah, I'm in a couple of them, and I've got some pulse jet speed models. I've got some original Dynajets from the '60s that I put on. Actually, I bought one of Robert Bolton's T-34s. He's a New Zealander, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, one of his T-34s. I've had that for about 2 years. I've been flying that just for fun, and I am currently this winter in the process of building a pulse jet stunner as well.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So they'll be next spring. Look for videos on Stunthangar of my attempt at pulse jet stunt. I'm taking a little different approach than those guys did. I'm going to run mine on a bladder and a foam wing, basically just a big combat type airplane. But good. I've tested the engines. I got the engine runs down with the bladder and all that. It's just a matter of designing and building an airplane now. I've got the cores. I've got the wings that I'm going to use for it. And I just have to make up some kind of fuselage. So
will it be similar power to a?
I'm sorry?
Oh, sorry, is it similar power to a 36 or would it be more like an F2D FAI 2.5?
Comparable to a Nelson 36. Yeah, to big block.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll go. I mean, my sport jet's flying about 130, 132, somewhere in there. And that's just that's just a stock engine. That I don't do the crazy stuff or anything like that. So yeah, it's like 2-second laps on 60-foot lines. So it's
okay.
The Stunner's going to be a lot bigger. It's probably going to be close to 600 squares. So I'm thinking it'll have a lot of drag. It should. I'm expecting it to fly around 100, 110, somewhere in there.
Wow.
Oh, it sounds exciting. I'd love to see the video when you publish it.
Well, it'll either be spectacularly cool or a spectacularly cool fireball.
Yeah.
Fire.
Oh, there'll be a lot of people that want to watch anyway, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
we better get going because Mum's going to be home and she's going to say, "Where's my dinner?" and I've left all the stuff outside. So we better sign off now.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Before you go, get some videos of your boys flying and put them up on Stunthangar for us. I'd like to see your boys fly.
Yeah, I'll try doing that. I started a on where Sparky's got his new feed on. Oh, what's it called? VidMe. I've put a profile up there. I'll try and put some videos on my YouTube channel and on that. But we've been in our winter and I haven't shot any reasonable videos for a while now as we're coming into our summer and our spring now.
You can actually put a YouTube icon on your profile on Stunthangar, and then all we have to do is click that and it'll take us right to your channel.
Oh, well, it's something
Yeah,
to look
right,
at.
right under your name.
Right under your
Right
name.
under your name on each post, you can have your YouTube.
That way we can just, you don't have to go in there and post separate videos. You can if you want, but this way we could just go through and look at everything you've put on.
Yeah, I've got a couple of videos on there, but just short videos. One of my wife flying, because she flies as well, and just short videos of the boys. But I'll work at that over summer and try and get some more videos up.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'd like to see your boys flying. I like to see kids flying.
Yeah, well, it encourages them. When they see Sam flying, they've really enjoyed watching him fly too.
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe someday they'll be against each other.
Okay, Max.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, good night. Bye.
Good night.
I have got to get a Wi-Fi booster so I can do this out in my garage, man.
Yeah, you do, Mike. Yeah, you do.
I'm standing out here by the office outside the house.
Yeah.
Without waking everybody up in the house. So, because that sucks. I wanted to show some more stuff that I had in there, but it drops off as soon as I get in there. So
yeah, well, another day would be great.
Yeah, I'll get one here this week. I'll run down to Best Buy and pick one up.
You been flying stunt lately, Mike?
Let's see. Since Huntersville, Sam and I have just flown half-A stuff in the backyard. We haven't flown any big stuff. So I'm thinking about going down to King Orange in December, down there in Florida.
Yeah, Will Davis is all jacked up about King Orange. He's planning on going. I don't know who all he's got on board yet.
Bob Zambelli said he was going. It'll be a last-minute thing for me because it's 9 hours for me to get down there. Yeah. If the weather is good and my wife's not working and I can sneak away, I would probably just drive down Saturday, spend the night, fly Precision on Sunday, and then turn around and come home.
Yeah.
I don't fly any of the events they're having Saturday. I could fly Profile, but if I do it, it's going to be the bullet train down, fly, and then come back.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know if it's worth 3 tanks of gas or not.
Yeah, that's what I'd have to do if I went to it. It'd have to be a quick trip, and I won't be flying by December probably anyway. So it'll be May, but I got that to look forward to. Got my Cardinal bill going, so hopefully be flying that in May. Give me
Okay.
something to do this winter.
Yeah, we're going to start on Sam's Nats planes here pretty soon. Probably right after Thanksgiving. We'll start building those. So
yeah,
I'll have a build thread going on those, and then hopefully, if I get the Wi-Fi thing worked out, I'll be able to show them to you guys live in the shop.
Hey, Steve.
Hey. How's it going?
All right, Steve. How you doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good. Can't get on with my new phone, so I had to go back, bring up this old phone, and it won't let me go through Google Hangouts. I always got on through through YouTube.
How did you finally get in?
I got on in through at the bench, but I had to use my other phone. I don't know why it won't let me use use one.
I don't know. I've made this unlisted, so the only way to get in is through at the bench right now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I had to do too. What's up,
Yeah.
Steve?
Hey, how's it going, Mike? See your video. You're out flying, huh?
Which one? Oh, my powered paraglider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the last flights of the year, man. I went out. Yeah, I only flew for about 30 minutes, man. It's cold. It was cold. And then
You're from Michigan. That couldn't be cold. It's below freezing here right now.
Well, I had a bit of a screw up, man. I took off and I got about 150 feet in the air, and I had this really hard left turn going, and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. And I looked over, and one of the buckles for the trim, basically a trim tab, was stuck in a guide ring. So my left riser about 3 inches shorter than it should have been. So it was putting the canopy in a hard left turn.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. I thought I could pop it out, but it was stuck in there so hard. I had to land, get out, and I off again. So, and then I had an issue shortly after I shot the video of me flying. I started getting weird noise in the motor. There was just like a strange noise, and I thought it was an exhaust leak or something. Something changed. So I came down and landed, and I checked everything, and I've got my main bearing on the drive is starting to get loose. The prop is wiggling about a quarter of an inch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time to quit for the day.
Well, it was. I landed and put it away. I didn't push it anymore. I mean, the bearing's not expensive. It's only like $50, but the problem is I've got to put the cage in the motor, change it. So it's a lot of work. It's a big headache. I've got to pull the motor off of the frame and cage and then split the cage. A lot of shit's got to come off to change one little part. But it's a winter project, so.
Now, does that thing glide good if the motor would quit?
Oh yeah. I land it without power all the time. I'm usually not running the engine when I land. I kill the engine. I set up for my landing. Nice straight in approach from like 200 feet, and then at 75 feet, if everything's looking good, I shut the motor off and land with the prop not spinning. Just let the lines caught in the prop when you land.
Oh, I see.
Because the canopy comes down and kind of cascades over it. You can turn it off to the side a little bit, but the surest way to cut lines is to land with a running motor. There's no reason to do it, So yeah, it doesn't. If the engine quit on me, I could always glide to land if I'm at a high enough altitude to get somewhere safe. You got to have an out, man. If I was flying over a forest or something at 5 feet, that wouldn't be a good idea. So I mainly stay over to cow pastures and stuff when I fly. Always got to have an out, man. Always looking for an out. You never know when something's going to shit out on you.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was my November flight. I'm not going to get one in December. It doesn't look like. So done for the year.
Before, and we'll say it again. Judge Moore is an innocent man.
Getting kind of cool down there too.
Yeah, we're only creeping into the 50s during the day, and we're dropping down to high 30s at night. So, I mean, that's cold for Tennessee.
Yeah, that's cold for here too. We
That's
start
very,
complaining when it gets down into the 50s here.
well, that's freezing cold for us down here in SoCal.
Yeah.
That's flying weather here.
Wow.
Yeah, no thank you.
You can keep
It's
that. My
actually,
goodness.
tolerate the cold. It's actually good flying weather because you got a lot of dense air for lift and
Yeah.
power too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, it messes stuff up though. We went out the last time that Samantha flew was 2 weeks ago yesterday. And that was like 55, I think, 54, 55. But the air was so dense we had to back the engine way off.
Sure.
Otherwise, the damn speed was up too high. And then we didn't get a real good engine run or anything, but I don't know.
Seems like the best way for compensating for cold air might be to pitch it down a little bit instead of backing off of the engine power. Just run a little bit lower pitch on the prop.
Yeah, we backed off 5% on nitro and stuff like that. But I don't have another carbon fiber prop that's pitched that way. You know, I told her we'll get the electric going, and we'll just turn the RPM down a little bit, and it won't matter.
Yeah, when she's going to France, right?
Yeah.
When is that?
Starts the 14th of July, I think it is.
Are you guys going to miss the Nats then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll miss it. Yeah, because the same day that all the other control line stuff changed theirs, but Stunt.
Combat didn't.
Oh, Combat didn't either?
Nope. We're running the same week as Stunt.
Oh, okay.
It didn't affect us. We'll be able to fly Combat, and since there's no team trials this year, that'll shorten up Combat by 2 days. So we'll be able to fly all the Combat events, and then Sam will be able to fly Stunt on the LPAC as well.
Oh, on Saturday?
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, whatever day he has to get over there.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, you have to be there, Sunday and Saturday? Yeah.
Correct.
Beginner.
Yeah, he'll fly beginner, and then he'll be going over to the LPLA to fly junior, senior aerobatics. Hopefully he can pull it off and fly for the Walker Cup on Saturday. That'd be nice.
Yeah, we're supposed to go down to Florida over Christmas vacation and see if Samantha can't get some flying in, because otherwise we won't be flying here till May.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it's just
getting family down in Florida, Steve.
Pardon me?
You got any family or friends down in Florida?
Yeah, not too far from where they hold the King Orange. I got a first cousin that lives in Butler, and that's probably, I think, maybe 10 miles from where they hold the King Orange. And then I still got
the King Orange moved since last year.
Yeah, they moved further down the same road.
Yeah. Actually, Gene Martin sent a flyer out, and it had the GPS coordinates on it. I keyed them into Google Maps, and it took me to the border in the Himalayas between China and one of those other little.
Well, that's a lot further down the road. Then I didn't realize it was that far.
We got that straightened out. I'm going to put a new GPS coordinates in the same flyer when I send the newsletter out later this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so my uncle and aunt, I have uncle and aunt and a whole bunch of cousins that live in High Springs, which Gene said that's about a 40-minute ride or whatever from the field. That won't be too bad. That's probably where we'll be staying.
What the hell are
Somebody-
you watching? MSNBC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
hear
you can
that.
hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go.
All right. Model airplanes.
Yeah, right. Politics, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got to
we
listen
got
to
off on
politics. I got to give everybody shit at work.
we got off in on one of our hangouts last week in a discussion on socioeconomic bullshit for about a half hour, and we lost about 90% of our YouTube viewers. So we cut that out. I got to make sure we don't do that.
Yeah, let's make Stunt great again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, fellas,
That's
I'm
the winning slogan.
freezing my nuts off out here, so I'm gonna call it this time. But
All right, Mike.
I get that Wi-Fi booster, get something figured out so I can sit in the shop where it's nice and warm.
Yeah. I want to get one so I can go out to my shop too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks for dropping in on us, man.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
Take it easy, Mike.
Later.
See you, Mike.
We'll see.
Take it easy.
Hey, Mike. No, he's gone. I'm trying to get a friend of mine to get on here, and I told him Mike comes on once in a while, but and Dick, him and Mike hung out at Brodak and at the Nats and stuff a little bit So
Is he a combat guy?
he won intermediate this year at the Nats, but yeah, he was always a combat guy.
Okay.
And that's kind of like Mike, and then they start flying stunt, and they took kind of like first and second at Brodak and some stuff, and so that just old combat guys that are, but Mike still flies combat, but Dick, he's done with it.
Yeah, I was flying some combat Friday. It's not the Walkerman, but it's the one prior to that, or two prior to that, and that was a lot of fun because our field was so muddy. I didn't want to take a chance in flying my Strega. That's basically my only stunt plane I have right now. Hang on one second. My kid trying to get my attention to give him hugs and kisses good night.
All right.
Hang on 1 second.
Well, let's call it a night, and we'll come back Friday and do it all over again.
Should we wait till Charles gets back? I think it's only us three.
Oh, Charles, he dove out before I was finished saying that. Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, here he comes.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, let's call it a night. We'll come back Friday.
Well, that's fine. I know it's late for you, and I definitely appreciate you staying up so late, Rusty. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
we usually go later than this, but yeah, I'd like to get off, and a couple of things I'd like to do too
Sure.
before it gets to bedtime. So we'll plan on doing it Friday night, and
All right.
get our usual rowdy Friday crowd in here. And,
Yeah, maybe I can figure out my new phone because this one's going away Wednesday, so I might have to figure out how to get on or something. But I'll try.
Now, if you got the Hangouts app loaded on your new phone.
Yeah, I do, and it kept saying to turn it on, but I don't know why it won't let me get in. I did on this one's the same exact way, and it let me in. So something turned off on that app or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you get that figured out. And meanwhile, all you guys over there on YouTube, we appreciate y'all hanging with us too. Minnesota Mike, Ron Hass, and Mike Leinke, Jim Ballard, and everybody else. So y'all come back too. And until then, fair winds, tight lines, and we will see you later.
All
Good
right.
night.
Good night. See you later.
Hi, Charles.